Good morning, friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Bhaskar B. Today, I'll be discussing with you from an Vedic astrological standpoint of view, the origin of COVID-19, uh, where are we right now, and when it will potentially end. So, a disclaimer before we go ahead, this is only for an educational point of view. My request would be stay safe, maintain distance, and stay healthy. So, just quickly moving on to, I've listed down the world's most worst epidemics and pandemics. If you look at in last 5 centuries, we have a number of epidemics and pandemics. To start with, there was a let's say, epidemic which happened in Mexico, then the Great Plague in Russia in 16th century and 17th century. Flu, which again happened in Russia. Sorry, the Great Plague happened in London. There was a Spanish flu which happened in 19th century, and then the Asian flu which happened in Russia and US. Swine flu again had originated in China, affected US and EU. West African countries, Ebola epidemic affected Africa, and right now again COVID-19, which is again ongoing, which has affected China, US, and parts of Europe. So, if you look at all these epidemics which has happened, which I have listed specifically, the aim is to show you that such epidemics, because of certain um, celestial conjunctions or celestial settings, uh, affect certain parts of the world more as compared to others. And we'll see, what are the celestial combinations, what are these astrological combinations, which has been affecting the world, is affecting the world, and uh, where it will lead to us. So, if you look at right now, where are we? This is a COVID-19 snapshot. Um, if uh, you look at this, Wuhan lies somewhere here, and if you take, if you see, it is majorly affecting all these parts of the world which are marked in red and different colors. Similarly, if you look at the previous history also, as I've showed in the previous slide, it talked about the major parts of the world get affected, be it China, be it this part of the world, be it Canada, be it US. So interesting patterns are there when you look at the Mayan astrology, that why only certain countries or certain regions of the world gets affected the most when such flu happen, no? So uh, let's discuss about this. So, right now, what our studies show, it's a combination of the planets and the zodiac signs, um, which tend to indicate the origination of such events of epidemic and pandemic. And again, in the transit of these particular planets through various zodiac signs will give us a clue as to when the uh, human race uh, will be freed, or from such disease. There are so many living beings on the earth, but at this point in time, it is the human which is getting affected the most. So if you look at the combination of planets are Ketu, that's a dragon tail, then is a Guru for Jupiter, Rahu is a dragon's head, and Shani is a Saturn. Combination of these along with zodiac signs. So let's look at what Ketu, the dragon tail, represent. It represents medicines, epidemic diseases, like right now we have COVID-19. We look at Rahu. Rahu is a dragon's head, which is diseases beyond cure. That means we have not been able to find a cure of disease as of now, and other things as well. Guru has lot many things, but Guru actually confirms, he's a judge. He does justice. He actually confirms what needs to be done. Without the association and without the agreement between Guru and Saturn, the Jupiter and Saturn, things don't move, be it a mundane astrology or or be it a personal astrology. Again, come to Saturn. Saturn is democracy, agriculture, old people, crops, and earth. Okay. Combine this with the zodiac signs. If you look at, I'll show you, these combinations interestingly happens in all four zodiac signs and along with the axis. So again, Gemini is something what is owned by Mercury and a sign called Mercury, a planet called Mercury. Sagittarius is again owned by Jupiter. Capricorn is again is owned by Saturn, and Cancer is owned by Moon. Moon in mundane astrology represents masses, people at large. House number 10, that is a Capricorn, represents the rulers. Um, so if you look at along with the combinations of others that I've called out, when these get affected or impacted, um, certain events happen, and it's an axis which gets affected in Vedic astrology. Any house which is seventh from that house, uh, any house affects any planet affects the house which is seventh from that. For example, if Saturn is sitting in fourth house, it will have a direct impact on the 10th house. So does uh, in the case of Jupiter or Guru, sitting in ninth house, it will affect the third house, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's quickly see what are the combinations which are. So this is a planetary position. If you closely look at if you closely look at this box, and if you look at what happened in 1545, the first the epidemic which happened in 15th or 16th century or 17th, 18th, 19th, role of all these four planets, what I called out: Jupiter, that is a guru, Rahu, that is dragon's head, Ketu, dragon's tail, and Saturn on the axis of these particular houses, which is namely Sagittarius and Gemini, Capricorn and Cancer. Um, uh, it actually um, uh, highlights the disease that we are seeing right now, the epidemics or the pandemics. If you look at Guru, the Jupiter, it is in the ninth house in the in zodiac number sign 9. In the Great Plague also, the Guru was in zodiac sign number 9. Russian plague also, Guru was under in zodiac number sign number 9. Flu pandemic, Guru was again in Sagittarius sign number 9, with the exception again in Spanish flu. See, as I told, um, it is sign number 3 and 9. So look at the axis that I've talked about here. Yeah, if you look at the axis, it is 3 9. So Guru is sitting in Gemini, and it affecting Sagittarius by its seventh aspect. If you look at again, with an exception of Asian flu, we can discuss why it happened. Uh, uh, Again, if you look at swine flu, Jupiter was again in Sagittarius. Okay, in Western Ebola case, Guru was in 10th sign. But in COVID again, right now, Guru is again in the zodiac number sign 9. So if you look at out of 9 epidemics or pandemics, Jupiter was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 9 epidemics or pandemics, Jupiter was in its own house of Sagittarius. Jupiter itself can't decide things of its own. he's a judge, and the confirmation of events have to be stamped upon once he sees what Saturn is doing, Rahu and Ketu, what are they doing? Let's quickly look at how are Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu, they are always 1 and 7 to each other. So look at Rahu. Again, Rahu was affecting Sagittarius number 9 and Ketu. Here, Ketu was Ketu was in number 4. Uh, Sorry, the Ketu was in Capricorn sign, and Rahu was affecting the 10-4 axis. Like we told the 10-4 axis is there. Rahu was in Moon sign Cancer, which is the sign of masses. If you look at the exception of this again, uh, if you look at flu pandemic, Rahu was in 3-9 axis, affecting 3-9 axis. Um, if you look at again, come to this in H1N1 flu, Rahu was sitting again in Cancer sign, affecting 4-10 axis. So, and if you look at Western Ebola, Ketu was and Rahu was sitting in 3-9 axis. Again, Rahu was sitting in 3-9 axis. So the basic aim of telling you is this is signs which I talked about previously, namely Sagittarius, Gemini, Cancer, and Capricorn. These have to be affected by these combination of these 4 planets, namely Ketu, Rahu, Guru, and Saturn. Quickly look at Saturn's role also, with the barring exception of one. If you look at this, in 1545, Saturn moved into Jupiter's sign, um, initially starting from Capricorn. Then again in 1665, it was in 9-3 axis. 1770, it was in 10-4 axis, so on and so forth. If you look at all this, so again, Saturn 60%, 70% of the time it was sitting in 10-4 axis. Uh, Jupiter was in 3-9 axis, moved to 4-10 axis. So having said that, um, this is the planetary position which actually depicted things of sign to come. Now with such a situation we have in the world right now, most of the people would be asking what next, where will it end? So I'll try to explain it to you with the event of uh, transits. So let's look at the important dates. So right now, what will happen is Guru or Jupiter is transiting in Dhanu Rashi, which is basically zodiac number 9, and Makar is Capricorn, which is sign number 10. So Jupiter will transit into Capricorn starting 30th of March. So, see, it may happen that things might become slightly concerning from 30th March onwards. Nothing to panic as it joins Saturn and Mars. But on 14th of April, when Sun transits the Aries, in Aries, Sun is in an exalted situation. In transit Aries, you will find some relief. Things will not go out of control as people are saying they may. There might be some positive news in the terms of government rolling out the packages for businesses. Uh, you might get some news regarding uh, finding the vaccination of corona, um, and there will be some light to it. Again, from 14th, things might become stable. They will not become worse, right? For a month, it will be under observation, and from 14th of May, it may happen that people might find that okay, things have stabilized, the world will start getting to normal. but it may be possible that from a totally unexpected quarters of the world, uh, there might be some cases of corona may get reported, Again, things will be slow. And again, for 6 weeks, starting 14th of May till 30th of June, or somewhere around that, world will again get together and try to solve this puzzle. Good news is, starting July till September, you know, when Jupiter actually moves back again um, into its own sign, things will start getting subsidized. Will subside. Um, we'll get a handle of things. The world will get a handle of things, and the world will slowly start getting limp towards normal. Mind you, I'm talking about not only the disease part of it, but the side effects it may have. The world will take time, and it's all astrological standpoint of view. If you look at from 14th of May, Jupiter becomes retrograde, and it will enter in on 30th of June it will enter its own sign. Um will Where things start getting to normalize. Uh, Again, it will take almost 2.5 months to get a handle of things by the world, and that is when Rahu, the dragon's head, will leave will leave its Gemini sign and move into Taurus. So this is my reading of the whole situation. See, these are celestial events, and uh, an astrological pattern shows that these things happen. Um, we are living each day one of its own. My request is let's not get panic. Whatever measures the governments of the world are doing, they're doing their best. And I'll say stay safe and stay healthy. This will also pass through. Just for a benefit of the people who would want to study in detail about this, I've just attached the charts which I've downloaded from the net of various uh, pandemics. Uh, People for their own study who are interested may um, would like to download it and discuss it. This is my point of view from totally from an astrological standpoint. So thank you so much. Uh, Thank you so much, everybody. Do like my channel. Do subscribe to my channel. Subscriptions will always help me to produce much more videos. And again, nothing to panic. This shall also pass. It's just a matter of how the world gets cleansed by the various celestial events. Thank you so much.